The UAE residents, who are currently stranded abroad and holding valid residence visa, can now return to the country from 17 cities across Europe, Asia, Australia, the US and Canada. Etihad is operating inbound passenger flights from Amsterdam, Barcelona, Frankfurt, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, London, Manila, Melbourne, Seoul, Singapore, Tokyo and Toronto. The Abu Dhabi-based airline has been operating scheduled flights since May 9th and will continue its operations till May 30th. Dubai-based Emirates will also be returning to the skies with its scheduled flights this week. Residents and citizens of the UAE can book flights to and from Chicago, Frankfurt, London Heathrow, Madrid, Melbourne, Milan, Paris, Sydney and Toronto between May 21st and June 30th. In addition to UAE carriers, Lufthansa has also announced scheduled flights to 106 destinations from June. It intends to resume Frankfurt-Dubai flight from June 7th. All these flights are subject to government approval and removal of restrictions on international travel. Sources said the local airlines are uncertain about resuming scheduled flights to the Indian subcontinent due to travel restrictions on international travel in India, Pakistan and other regional countries for foreign airlines. However, the airlines are hoping that the situation will get better in the next 1 month or so to resume flights at a smaller scale to the subcontinent. Who is eligible? The local airlines said residents returning to the UAE must hold a valid residence visa as well as Federal Authority for Identity and Citizenship (ICA) number in order to be accepted for travel to the UAE. The ICA number can be obtained through Tawajudi service of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation via email. The number must be provided to the UAE Airlines at the time of booking for inbound flight. What to expect on arrival? The UAE Airlines said stringent entry restrictions are in place for passengers upon arrival at the airports. At Dubai International Airport, passengers will have to undertake a mandatory COVID-19 test by Dubai Health Authority (DHA) on arrival, followed by a mandatory 14-day quarantine and then a follow-up test before release. According to DHA, around 14 hotels are being managed by the private healthcare sector as isolation and quarantine facilities in the Emirates, while 4 hotels are being managed by the authority. COVID-19 flight and travel restrictions remain in place across many countries around the world. We are closely monitoring the situation as it evolves, and we hope to resume services as soon as conditions allow. This includes receiving government approvals, the easing of travel restrictions, and commercial demand, said Emirates, the world's largest international carrier. The inbound travelers must also bring face masks, hand gloves and abide by social distancing rules. In Abu Dhabi, Etihad said all passengers will undertake thermal and diagnostic or PCR tests on arrival in Abu Dhabi and are required to self-isolate for 14 days. In addition, passengers will be asked to wait 2 meters apart from other guests at all queuing points upon arrival. Abu Dhabi-based Etihad Airways on Sunday announced 2 additional flights, allowing UAE residents and citizens to book flights to and from the UAE. The airline will operate one-off service from Abu Dhabi to Toronto, departing at 10 a.m. on May 21st and returning the next day. It will also operate one-off service to Belgrade. The flight will depart at 8:30 a.m. on May 21st and return from Belgrade to Abu Dhabi at 14:05 on May 21st. Operated by a Boeing 787-9, passengers with appropriate approvals can book in both directions on both routes.